Just Jerningham here, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, China don't want to be doing business with Russia anymore. They're saying on here, in this guy's channel called CALE News. It's over. China no longer allies with Russia. They're saying, but is it true? Big collapse of Russian army. Russians apparently are running out of guns and ammunition, but other countries are giving weapons to Ukraine for the war. China still thinks it's wrong for for Russia to attack Ukraine. Who knows what's going to happen next? Will China go to war with Taiwan? They don't want to get sanctioned by the world. 4 minutes ago, big blow of Ukraine will end Russia. So Ukraine's getting all the guns. So Ukraine have done nothing wrong. What about any other country? It's a shame the world is what it is, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Some people probably would like the war to be over. It's saying about Putin's army, there's many hundreds of men have withdrawn from Putin's army, or something like that. And metal cages on tanks and something else. I'm just looking for all these things that I can talk about. Message from Putin's world, talking about other things. There's just so much here, guys, ladies and gentlemen, that finally that's happened. Hundreds of Russian troops joined. Hundreds of Russian troops joined the Ukraine. I don't want to thought that would have happened, but apparently an Eagle CAW. Apparently, Russian troops have joined Ukraine. It's very rare and strange, isn't it? But it's stunned a lot of people, hasn't it? Got adverts on TV as well. So look at what this says then. I never thought the Russians would join the Ukrainian army. It's a bit daft to me, but what would you guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, think? That's the waking up, who knows? Abandon a dirty how the Russians device incredible hundreds of elite soldiers begin surrounding. Just trying to think what I could say in these videos. I mean, 5 minutes ago, Putin was the biggest Trump card has been taken away. So there's just lots of things that are going on a minute, guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, as we all know. Some of us want the war to end, but I'm sorry the war's going on. It's not my fault. It's my doing. Putin caused all this problem. The soldiers of both sides are probably scared as it is already. So we're going to be looking at the war with Russia and Ukraine. Putin appears to admit Russia lose in Ukraine. Ukraine can push back against forces of NATO. Who knows, NATO could join. Could be the end. Yep. Ukraine describes Russia forces ran from the town. There's a live thing on YouTube now. Russia, Ukraine war live. How Putin fears powering times now. It's in that one. Global News talks about Russia trains reservists near the front line. Lines of Ukraine war Russian soldiers. There's a lot of these channels that you probably know, guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. Russia, Ukraine entering a new pause. 23 BBC News. KROO. CN News. Zelensky witnesses turning the point of Ukraine war. MBS News. Ukraine giant ground in Russia captured by territory. The Granada News is how the strength of Ukraine failed not to the tank. There's just so many news, like MSB News about Ukraine, Russia. CBS News, 13 News now. Ukraine countries taking back territory. Grenada News again. BBC News Australia, Russian control, shattering Ukraine East, South BBC News. Force News talks about Ukraine, Russia forces failing. 13 News, Ukraine makes progress against Russia forces region. Why is Russia and Ukraine convinced? The front graphics news. There's just Channel 4 news as well. Ukraine biggest break in the South scene. CBS News National. Worldwide, Ukraine must prepare giant in Russia. The Times Radio. Russia expects to show down. There's just so many news channels here, guys, ladies and gentlemen. CBS Television News. US says more weapons to Ukraine. The Sun even said Ukraine forces shot down 2 AK-50 attacks and helicopters. And global news even talks about Ukrainian troops breaking through Russian lines. So many news channels. Force News even says Ukraine must take back the fight to Russia to win. Telegraph News, it's about Russia and Ukraine. There's just all these news channels. Some of you probably don't know them. Al Jazeera News, review Moscow. Daily Mail, Ukraine forces battle Russia. Ukraine. TLRD News, EU, talks about Ukraine pushing back the battle. My arm is getting a bit sore now because I'm holding the phone for so long. UATV English talks about Ukraine. Just hold on a second. Let's see if the phone's still filming. Putin, WION. Putin's announced nuclear. CN News 18. Ukraine, Russia again. Fox Business talks about Ukraine, Russia. Ukraine war. Sky News. There's so many things. WFAA talks about things as well about Russia and Ukraine. I've gone through most of the news channels. There could be more if not said. Newscom, AU, Russia and Ukraine again. Washington Post talks about Russia and Ukraine. So some people may have different news to what I'm saying. News Nation talks about Putin. WON News, Russia, Ukraine. 10 New First, Russia, Ukraine news. BBC News talks about Russia and Ukraine too. So all these news channels. Will they make more? I've not said, probably will. There's a lot of stuff going on there, isn't there? CGTN News, Russia, Ukraine claim the fight back. As you can hear me, I can click in on the controller. PS4 controller thing. Voice of America News, Russia, Ukraine. News 18, debates, interview, Russia, Ukraine. I think that's could be Arabic news. News 18 of India, Russia, Ukraine again. Never could be in for most of these news channels. PBS News Hour, Russia, Ukraine. The same again. CRUX, Russia, Ukraine. KTLA 5, Russia, Ukraine. 7 News Australia, same Russia, Ukraine as well. Could be in for all the news channels. Well, most of them maybe don't. WION. News channel Russia, Ukraine. Well, like I say, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, there's probably going to be a lot more that's going on in here, as we can tell. I said most of the news channels you may watch and you may not. But who knows what the UK is actually heading for with these power cuts and stuff. Let me know if you're worried about this, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Will things get better? But anyway, I better go. Thank you for joining me. And see you next one. Take it easy. Peace.